on soon. Little 400cc Bobcat golf cart called the Pioneer. I was getting all excited. Brought it in to park it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Fish Workshop. We're continuing on the Bobcat Pioneer, the little golf cart wannabe. We're gonna try to finish that thing up at least enough to get it operational. We got some projects coming up that we want to get taken care of, and it'll be really nice to have that thing ready. Springtime is definitely here, so we're about to be full bore out here. Wife wants a garden. We got some projects we're tearing up and hauling stuff around, and it'd be really nice to have it ready and going. So that's what we're going to try to do today. I got some parts in. We're going to see if we can get it apart, get it ripped up and put back together, and see if it runs. See if I can do that without making any critical errors. Well, come along and let's see what we do. Well, she's out. So had to disconnect a couple extra things. There's a ground wire that goes up to it. There's the transaxle cable for the differential that comes into it. That goes through the casing. One of your sensors has got a little connector there. There's another one at the bottom there for the oil sensor. And then you have your 6 bolts back here. The top 2 and bottom 2 are bolts. These 2 are studs on the back of the motor. So the studs are basically what help align it and hold it in there. They're kind of a bear to get to. You have to use an open-end wrench. But it's out. We can get a pretty good look at it overall now. Definitely see where it kind of looks like that gap where that seal blew out. But should be able to get it apart, get it cleaned up, and get it redone a little bit. I'm going to do piston rings, I'm going to lap the valves, I'm going to hone the cylinder, and then we're going to replace that seal and do the main crank shield. So I bet you guys can't even hear me right now. Heater is takes a little bit to keep the shop warm. Anyways, we're about to the point where it's time to start taking this thing apart. This is the 2 seals we wanted to replace. This one doesn't look bad, but while we're in there, might as well replace it. And then the crankcase gasket that goes all the way around here. So we're gonna dive into it a little bit, see what it looks like. Man, I really wish it wasn't below freezing outside, because I would love to clean that guy up a little bit. Just a wee bit. Let me see what I got. I'm gonna try a couple different cleaning methods. A lot of people say just WD-40 and some rags will do wonders for you. nothing else, right? There we go. There we go. Alright. So, I don't know if you can see it from up there, but I can tell you exactly where that oil leak was. So, yeah. Right there. Frickin' gasket wasn't even sitting up here. It's supposed to go right up along there. But it was riding down in, letting oil up whenever it wanted. So now, I guess, remove the old gasket. Looks really good. Don't see any scoring anywhere. Head looks pretty darn clean. There's texture on it. There's my little apprentice mark, but it's not on the wall, it's on the face. I might just bump that with a file just to make sure, but made in JA pan. That's nice. We're going to bring you in and see if we can get some good texture light on it. So yeah, it looks like there had been some moisture in there at some point. Overall, not bad. Not enough where I can feel it. I do want to run a hone through it just to clean it up a little bit. After going through it a few times, oh, don't spray stuff. So that ledge, about halfway down, that discoloration, you can feel that a little bit. Pitting, and there's a spot right up here. Right there. The exhaust valve. You can feel that just a hair. None of them are like catching, but you can feel them. Well, good evening. We are diving in a little bit more on this here guy. Got the piston out and cleaned up. Looks pretty darn good. You can still see the legible left and right that's on there. The skirting doesn't look like there's any scoring or anything on it. Do need to clean it up a little bit more before we install it, but do see just a little bit of corrosion from that water that we had in there. Let me see. So that way you can kind of see it right there about halfway down the skirt. So that is some of it. I already measured these piston rings versus the new ones, and the old ones had almost 15 thou bigger gap when they were inside the cylinder, so these will give it a better compression ratio there. It'll do better for us, so. Well then, it says the beveled one is the one that goes facing the top. So I need to install this one, the cast iron ring, second. And the instructions said the one with the writing on it, so that R, I hope you can see that. Yeah, there you go, the R right there. That is the indicator that it is the top side of that ring. This one was very difficult to get off, so we're gonna do the same kind of instructions for getting it on. Hopefully not breaking it. Go in the one ring and then move on down to the next ring. Kind of stepping it down little by little. I hope. Okay, there we go. And it's groove, and then same thing with this one. We want that R facing up. Right there. And now we have our new piston rings installed. So that guy is pretty much ready to go. Feel pretty good about that. This is the old ring set I'll save just for fun, because you never know. I might have to get back in there and might do something horrible. Now on to the more fun part. So here is the cylinder head. Have not done anything with the gaskets or the pistons. Valves. Words, they're hard. Anything with the valves yet. I just cleaned up some of the carbon in there, cleaned up the sealing surface. Tried to make sure we got as much of that debris off of there as I could. Just using WD-40 and then some Scotch-Brite pads. But I want to get these out and get them cleaned up. Is that enough? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is. Enough for one of them. There we go. That wasn't, you know, just a little bit more difficult than it probably needed to be. So that is intake. Overall, not horrible by any means, but we'll give her a cleanup. This is somewhere I am. So let's make sure you actually saw that. So this is intake exhaust. Looked like it had a pretty good seat all the way around. There's a little bit of debris from when I was cleaning everything. But overall, you're getting shiny pretty much the whole way around. And that's the end of it before we clean her up. Oh, learning things. Why is that one stuck now? Oh, of course. Alright, well, let me just see. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, right? This one doesn't look near as good. I mean, granted, it's the exhaust, so all you're gonna see is carbon, but I don't see near as much shine. There's some, but not near as much. Putting a little electrical tape around the stem. So I'm gonna spin it in the drill, and I don't want to do any scuffing or anything to the shaft. Here's what we're looking at now. Yeah, it looks a lot more metal-like. There's some deformities there, and I don't know if that's from just from so many cycles, or if it wasn't sealing well, so it's got some pitting there. We're gonna send it through a little bit around the valve, and you can feel the sandpaper-like effect of it. So let's see here. Well, I mean, it acts like it's a good seal there. Can't spin it at all. Let's see what we got now. I mean, I guess it looks about the same. This is the valve. Does look like it's doing some work. Oh my goodness, this rain. I guess rain's better than snow, but I don't know by how much. Put this guy in. Alright, well, it says it's a pretty good seal. Well, I guess I don't know enough to argue with it. So that's the exhaust. Let's see if we can do the same with the intake. See what it feels like first. I probably should have done that with the exhaust, but
I mean, with a lot of force I can spin it, so maybe. Oh, that's right, I haven't even cleaned this one up yet. Let's do that first real quick. So, this is what she looks like before. Does look like there was some sealing going on. Got most of the carbon taken off of it. Now with all that cleaned up, did she have a... I mean, pretty good. But we're still in here, we're still gonna clean it, so. Even if it was perfect, I'm still doing something. We're in here, we're gonna make it happen. You guys get awesome weather with a lot of wind out where you live? Because it doesn't seem to stop here. Wind just goes and goes and goes. Oil's off of this guy. I think I am going to need the bigger one. Do I need the super big one? Because that's too big, isn't it? Here, you squeaking mother trickers. Find you, it's over. The thing I do have to replace is this guy. Because I broke him. I was trying to take off some of the covers. I broke just that corner off of it. But it's part of the fan shroud. Keep air flowing past the motor, so. Yes. Yes, stay in there. Alright, I'll show you what I did here to make my valve compressor work for what I do. So if you see right here where it kind of flattens out, beforehand there was a little curve there, a little bit beefier section, but that was restricting me from actually clamping down enough, flat enough to bring it down straight. It was basically bringing it and hitting right here and then curving up, so it wouldn't actually press down flat. So then I couldn't compress the spring flat, which no bueno. But now we're in there. All right, only one more to go, and then we'll have this thing put back together. There we go, that's what we want to see. Oh, it wasn't a super awful, horrible process, was it? Right? Right? All right. Alright, let's see how this does. So, I've already talked to you about the cylinder and you already saw me honing it some, but it's been about two or 3 weeks and just been sitting there. So you can see in the coloration there, it has flash rusted a little bit. I should have put some oil or something on it. So what we're gonna do is we are going to hone it just a little bit more, see if we can get a little bit more of that pitting out. I have a feeling like you can catch your fingernail a little bit. It's not tearing it, but it may be something that just wears these rings out pretty quick. So this may be a lesson in futility, but we'll see. We will see. I'll at least make it better than it was. Go ahead and coat with a little bit of oil, because I just don't want to forget it and let it do the same thing again. I mean, I'm putting it together, but I hope. All right, let's go ahead and use you. We're just gonna prop you up that way. As we spray things, we can get all the dirt, dust, and grime to come out the other side, right? Yeah, you can see that okay. Got a couple of absorby pads down there. It's probably not going to be enough. I should probably add a couple towels. See what we can clean up out of there, make sure we have as little gunk as possible. Give us a little bit of a chance with this motor. There we go. Just needed to do it just a wee bit better. All right. That guy. All right. I don't like that. Oh boy, what is that and where is that? Now I said I timed it. I mean, I timed it. I just didn't install the piston at the right timing. It's hitting the well, how? That shouldn't matter, right? Am I crazy? You know what's fun? You get your right and your left exactly where they're supposed to be, right? Yeah, you know how to tell your left from your right, correct?
Of course.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Left side, looking at the front, not looking at the engine. Down there and then washers. Alright. I'll be an expert on this by the time I'm done. So apparently it's really important to put the piston in facing the correct way. Otherwise it's going to want to hit your cam gear with the skirt, and that's no good. Attempt number 2 to put this thing together. Alright, it's 23 on that one. Alright, so that's in there the correct way now. Okay. It'll make complete revolutions now. Crazy when you install it right, things tend to want to work, huh? Crazy how that works. So we got piston in, the rod and bolts torqued. We got things slightly lubricated, and it makes full rotations. Doesn't clip on anything anymore. Alright, things are doing things. Stuff is moving. No binding anywhere. So that's nice. So I feel better about that. Second time's a charm, right? So now, the whole reason we're here is to replace this bad boy right here. Because this guy is what was leaking. So I had blowed out my overly fancy knife to open this guy. Alright, that is the right one. I was going to be a little upset. Alright, so we're going to prop this guy up again. We're going to go through, clean this surface one last time. Well, I don't know if you'll be able to see it from there, but trying to flip the seal over, I do believe I ripped it. It's the tiniest of rips, but Guess I'll have to order another one of those. Need to clean these guys up real quick. See how much, can you see that corrosion on there? Yeah. A couple of them have some pretty decent corrosion, but I'm gonna clean them all up. So here's the crappy ones. These are the 4 worst ones after I cleaned them up with the wire brush. Didn't get everything off, but got the threads clean. This one's got a little bit on the shoulder there, but I don't think that's gonna cause any issues. So to make sure they all go in and out nice and easy, you know? After checking the video, these 2 are the ones that have these studs on them. I think everything else was just a regular bolt. I don't know if you can hear that wind howling, but it's pretty freaking windy out there tonight. That just feels so loose. Skip every other one. I'm gonna Google and make sure it's not lying to me. 21 foot-pounds. That sounds so much better. 21 inch-pounds is like, what? Alright, I like this a lot better. All right. So cover's on. I'm gonna have to order a new seal for that. So next, it's gonna be the head. Part number, in case anybody is curious, for the Kawasaki FE400D. Alright, so there's a dowel pin here on the head. Did I show you guys after cleaning everything up? It's not perfect, but I got the majority of everything out, cleaned her up, lapped the valves. They are now in there nice and good-like. well, no more messing around. She got oil in her, she can put back together. New oil filter, new spark plug, crankcase valves. Ba-dum. I mean, she's like 88% there, man. We can get that clutch on, the starter on, and see if we can give it a test fire and just see where she's at. See if we can do it and not blow anything up, right? Alright, so since last time you were here, I'm trying to remember everything I've changed. I have put the clutch back on. I ended up giving it a little bit of vibratory cleaning and getting a fair chunk of mud out of it. I've installed the starter and the starter belt. I'd already torqued everything down when you were here last time, so that's not new. Today I was cleaning up the gaskets for the exhaust and the intake. Let me flip her around and we'll show you the intake. That's the exhaust I just got done doing. And here is the intake. And we'll go in a little bit. And readjust. Whoa. Quit going. I said stop. There's the intake. Got that gasket. That one came off pretty easy, but for both of them I did have to remove the studs. Don't think I did very much damage at all, which is always, you know, ideal. If you ever see a chip of aluminum come up, you should be getting worried. But they both cleaned up pretty good. This one, I've got the replacement, so we'll get that. Actually, we can do that right now while we're talking. That's not going to show you anything. What about here? It'll give you a little bit of light. So, my studs for the carburetor. Alright, well, we got her clamped to the table, and that orange strap there goes to the back side of the table, so she's pretty secure. She's gonna rattle the table to death, which, you know, is what it is. Just don't want the oil dipstick falling out either. I already tried to fill it earlier, so she might already be full. Where's the float stuck? I think she's already full. Alright. What do you guys say? Think she's gonna go? Sure this stuff is stretched the wrong direction. Hold on. Let me go back to my videos, or my pictures.
I think it's time to put her back together. What do you think? Let's do it. Alrighty. So we have engine in. We have the diff lock wired up. The starter's wired up. The carburetor 80% there. I had to clean the spot where the airbox goes down here because it had a bunch of dirt built up. And now we just have the jump pack in here. I was testing some stuff. Alright guys, so I finally got the idle tuned in, and it had nothing to do with the carburetor. Let's see if I can show you real quick. So this here is the linkage for the throttle. And they had this tightened down so tight, it wouldn't let the engine come down to an idle. So, you look at some of my videos where I was trying to fight with it, I could never get the throttle plate to sit on the idle screw. So I could never adjust the idle anyway. So that is why I could never get the idle to go right. But I got that dialed in, and she's idling real good now. Throttle response is still good. It goes right down to idle like it's supposed to. We're getting ready to button up a couple things and see if we can take it out for a test drive. But I wanted to show you that because that's one of the things that's been bugging me since I got it, was I couldn't get it to idle correctly. And now I know why. She's a runner. Feels good to get it that far, get it up and running, and get her into doing some work for us. That was a long process, and like I was saying before, I've only cracked open a couple motors, and most of them were just the salvage stuff. One I tried to repair and didn't work out too well, so I was a little bit leery on this one, but I felt pretty good about it, and it seems everything's working so far. We got the first oil change done. I probably put about 10 hours on it in the last week or so. Pretty much since we got it running, I've put about 10 hours on it. So I got an oil change there, just to clean out all that debris from the hone cylinder. But I'm pretty content with it. It runs, idles pretty well. It's not a high top speed, but it wasn't supposed to be. It's a workhorse, and it's doing what it's supposed to. We put it through its paces. We tore up an old structure and took about 15 or 20 loads to a burn pit with it, and it trugged along through all of it. Did really good work for us, so we're very happy with it. I don't have much else to say for you guys, but I want to say thanks for watching. Leave me some comments, let me know what I did right, what I did wrong. Aside from dropping the piston, everybody knows I did that wrong, but what you liked in this video, what you didn't like, I take feedback and it helps me improve the videos for you. Until next time, on our next project where we go fishing, play on the name, I'll see you then. Thanks, guys. Keep on driving, bro. Keep on driving.